So when I was in grade 1, back at school, there was a time when we had this little arts and crafts competition. And the assignment that was given to us was that we had to create these little paper animals and then present it to the principal and the judges. Mine was a monkey, but I need you to know that it was a really, really good monkey. On the day of the competition, we all lined up, and one by one, each kid would go up on the stage and present their paper animal to the principal and the judges. The principal would naturally smile, say something nice, and put it to the side. Smile, say something nice, and put it to the side. But slowly, I noticed something very, very dangerous happening. That smile on my principal's face, it kept getting smaller and smaller, just like a phone's battery dying. And I got all nervous. And I looked at my friend who was standing in front of me, which meant that her turn was before mine. I leaned over and I said, I think she's not even going to be interested in our paper animals. What do you think? And she got all nervous first, just like me. But then she looked down at this cute little elephant that she had made. And she said, I think it's going to be fine. And I remember thinking to myself at that point that, does she really think that her paper elephant is better than my paper monkey? Because I think not. And then it was her turn. She confidently went up on the stage, and instead of handing over her paper animal to the principal, she did something that day that gave me a beautiful perspective to life. She said, Mic, please. None of us did that. The principal gave her the mic, and instead of looking at the principal, she looked over to the judges, and she said, Meet Elfie, the elephant. He is 10 years old, he has 147 friends, and they all think that he should be the real king of the jungle. All the kids started laughing, our teacher started clapping, and our principal, who had seemingly grown uninterested in our paper animals, now had a 100-watt smile across her face. She won. And if I'm being honest, I'm still a little jealous about that monkey of mine. But here's what I have never forgotten since then. Elfie, he was not the best paper animal in the room, but he was one with a story. And my friend gave him that. She made the room see his value differently. And you know what's sad? Most of us, our entire careers, forget to do that for ourselves. What do you think about that? My name is Iza Zainab Siddiqui. I am an employer branding expert, a corporate trainer, and a proud mother of 3 wonderful kids. I'm also someone who had to once walk away from the dream that I once had, a career that I had planned. I had to walk away from it. But don't feel sad for me just yet, because I later on found out that what was waiting on the other side for me was far more beautiful and powerful. So what I do now in my career is that I help companies find their Elfie. I help them identify their story, one that makes the right talent stop and say, hey, this is where I belong. Through my own journey and through Elfie, I learned 3 very profound things that I would love to share with you today. But before anything else, let's set the premise right. The one thing that I need you to know is that organizations, they don't hire the best. They hire the right. Let that sink in. Now, you must be thinking that that's something that you've heard over and over again, so what's so different about it, right? Well, the word right, R-I-G-H-T, it just doesn't mean the same thing anymore. Before, it meant you, your value, the company, and a clean match. But guess what? That world, it just doesn't exist anymore. It's constantly evolving. So you and your value, if you stick to the same equation, it's not going to work out. So what right means in today's world is that knowing yourself, knowing your patterns, reading the world, the environment, and then going back and rearranging your patterns fast enough to form a solution to a problem that the world might not even have labeled yet. I know it sounds complex, but this is the new definition of right. And to get there, you can do 3 very simple and profound things that I learned through my journey and Elfie's. Read, write, and speak. Simple. Let's see. Read, not just books, but yourself, your patterns, that invisible line of patterns that is forming underneath all the experiences that you're going through in life, even the detours, even the seasons that might feel like failing or nothing at all. Because even they help you identify the person that you are becoming. And once you've done that, read the world around you, the environment. See where is it shifting, because the world is constantly shifting, I can assure you that. Where is the next problem happening, and how can you help fix it? The sad part is that most of us, our entire careers, remain unread. And we wait for someone to somehow read us. Our manager, our co-workers, our parents, our friends. But hey, what's stopping you from reading yourself? So most of my career, I remained unread. The path that I had chosen for myself had suddenly stopped existing. I became a mother young. I had to quit on my MBA in HR because of a complicated pregnancy. So I did whatever paid, whatever fit, whatever worked. So from HR to ghostwriting, to teaching, to basically strategizing, whatever paid. But when I look back at my journey now, none of it was random. And that's why I want to emphasize on the fact that all of it were dots that I could not connect. Ghostwriting, it taught me how to understand people and put their thoughts into words that matter. Teaching taught me how to hold the attention of the room and simplify complexity. Strategy taught me how organizations think and then decide. And motherhood, of all the things, taught me how to navigate through chaos, because we know it's chaotic, but all the while staying emotionally intelligent. At the time, it felt very unconnected, but I can tell you now that it forms something so beautiful and specific in what I do in today's world. Secondly, write, not just on paper, do that too, but rewrite your value. When you have read yourself and the environment, you are in a good position to go back to your patterns and rearrange them to form a solution to a problem that the world has not even named yet. And I know I've said this the second time, but let me tell you this. The World Economic Forum says that by the year 2030, 39% of the core job skills that exist in today's world will be wiped off, and new job skills will enter the market. So there's one thing that's super clear. the world's problems are not still, they're not stagnant. So why is our value proposition? When I now write, I write for companies, I still do, the ghost writer in me comes forward. When I run workshops, the teacher in me somehow comes forward. And when I strategize, when I make corporate identities, the strategist in me comes forward. So you see, it was all connected. And it was all a pattern that I had to identify and then keep rewriting for the right room. Now lastly, and very, very importantly, speak. Not just network, not just do personal branding, but speak about a problem that you have identified in the world and speak with so much conviction that even a person who has no context of your field can understand why it matters so much to you. Then you are a team. Then when you're sitting in front of an interviewer, you don't really just give your interview. You also ask them, okay, do you have that problem that I can solve? Only then we are a match. So let's clarify one thing. The conventional career path did not ask any of this from us. It asked us to fit, to follow, to wait your turn. But my friend didn't do that, you see. She didn't wait for the principal to look at Elfie and say, oh wow, good paper animal, no? She read the room and she gave Elfie the story that the room will listen. And then what did she do? She spoke it with 147 friends worth of conviction. So everybody listened. She made sure of that it became unforgettable. So what I want you to leave with today is that once you know your value and you know how to keep rewriting it, and you know what problems you could solve with those value propositions of yours, you do not wait for the moment. You create it. Thank you.